Hey y'all, my name is Razia, and this is Inspiring the Ideals podcast. This podcast is sponsored by A Legacy Beyond Legendary with the intent to raise awareness. Inspiring the Ideals was created in 2017 with the hopes to dismantle the conception of competition, increase self-esteem, positive mindset challenges, and transparency within young Black women. Again, my name is Razia. Welcome. I am an aspiring transformational speaker, entrepreneur of A Legacy Beyond Legendary, and founder of Kappa Upsilon Eta Nu. Our goal with Inspiring the Ideals is to promote self-love, self-esteem, and woman empowerment. We are striving to dismantle jealousy, competition, and confrontation amongst young women. With a variety of topics, we hope to strike conversations that many try to avoid with the intent to raise awareness. Hey y'all, I'm back with episode 10. And episode 10, I want to talk about not sweating the small stuff. Not letting negative situations or negative energy or being upset really take over your lives and your thinking. I read a quote and it basically said, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes upset about it. And I took it a step further and I was like, even if it's not going to matter in 1 year, don't spend more than 1 minute dwelling on it, So, I mean, if these things aren't going to matter to you in 1 week or 1 month, or like I said, 1 year, why are we spending so much time thinking about what went wrong or what could have been better or what did I do to mess it up? It's like we spend weeks, sometimes months, just thinking and pondering and wondering instead of taking this situation and moving forward from it, learning from it and moving forward. So that's what this episode is all about, learning how to take the small stuff and run with it. Take the small stuff, forget about it, and run with it, I should say. Not letting it take over your life. Because at the end of the day, when we're constantly thinking about something that's upsetting us, just think about how that affects our energy, how it affects our mood. If we're thinking about something that upsets us, our mood changes. So now we're negative and we don't necessarily know we're negative. We're just being negative, but other people can feel that negativity. All because you're focused on this small little thing that could have been, forgot about. All right. So just don't get caught up in the small stuff, especially if they are irrelevant. Because believe it or not, it does start to take over our lives. All right. So some things that, might be considered small stuff that we could let slide and we can really throw over our shoulders and keep moving with our days. One of them are when things don't go our way or they don't go as we planned. This is one of my favorites because it correlates with my life so well. I'm spoiled sometimes. I could be a brat. I like things to go my way. If I plan something out, I want it to go as planned. But, me being me, I had to learn that that's not really how life works. So it's really about understanding that when things do not go your way, you realize why they didn't go your way and then you move forward from it. Or you compromise and you do something different, so it's never, or I should say it's not always, a lose-lose situation. It could be a lose-win situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's just because it's not going your way or just because something you planned didn't go how you want it to, don't always think of that as a negative, and don't allow yourself to beat yourself up about it. Don't allow yourself to be upset for days, for weeks, for months at a time because this one situation that happened months ago on that one day, didn't go your way. Don't let that affect you for more than, I would say 30 minutes. Everything happens for a reason. And sitting there thinking about it and trying to figure out what happened and why it happened, it's not going to get you nowhere. You could take 30 minutes, think about why it didn't go as planned, and then try to move on from that. Find ways to move on from that. But do not let it take over your life and have you negative all the time. It's exhausting. All right. So, like I said, just because it doesn't go your way or go as you planned it does not always mean it's a lose-lose. It could be a lose-win, or, you just have to compromise. For example, I wanted to book this venue. Beautiful venue. I loved it. It had everything I needed. But it was booked on the day that I wanted it. So I'm like, oh, okay, great. This is what I wanted. Had everything I needed. This isn't going as planned. Now I could have got mad about it, upset about it, and, canceled the event and not did it at all. Or I could have compromised, find a different venue that had similar amenities and move forward with it. So it's all about how you perceive things. Don't dwell on the things, like I said, that are irrelevant, that are not going to matter years from now. Another thing, that could be considered small, or irrelevant are words, gestures, and actions. So I know sometimes other people's words and their actions may come off as negative, or they may come off as upsetting, or someone may say something that you just really don't like or you do not agree with, or they really say something that may hurt your feelings. Now, me being me, because I'm, emotional at times, words hurt. Yes, they do. But it's how you perceive and how you accept those words, that really matters. And that's really going to impact how you take it and how you move forward. Now, if someone is saying something or they're doing something in a negative manner and they're doing it purposefully to hurt you, then that, this is what they're doing on purpose to get to me. Whether that's how they feel or not, they feel like they needed to go that extra mile to hurt me. So yes, the words may hurt. Yes, you may need to take some time to really understand what happened, to really take into consideration what just happened. But at the same time, it's like, okay, they said it. It's nothing I can really do about it because that's what they said. I need to put this behind me because I know whatever they're saying isn't true, or I know whatever they're saying isn't applying to me. So not dwelling on what other people's perception of you or what other people's actions have on you, not letting that really ruin your days or ruin your week or weekend, or if you're out with your friends and you see something that was really unnecessary, not letting that ruin the time that you have with the people that you're around. And a good example of this is I had a friend of mine was telling me a story about they were at the movie theaters and they were trying to figure out what movie to buy and what seats to choose and whatever the case is. And the guy behind them was just sighing and acting like really kind of like, hurry up, I'm trying to get my tickets and go sit down, and you're trying to pick where you want to sit and find a movie that you want to see, and the guy behind them was just all really upset, extra loud and sighing and stumping his feet. And what my friend said is, she said that I could have let this guy get to me and ruin my whole movie experience, or I can choose to let him be upset and continue with my day. So that's what I mean when I say sometimes words, gestures, or actions can be something where we can really just roll off our backs and kind of keep moving on with our days. Another big one, I think, is friendships, dating, and relationships in general. They don't always go our way. People don't always do what we want them to do, or people don't always know what we're thinking, or what we think we want them to do, or what we think should happen, in a relationship, any kind of relationship, not just romantically, but any relationship. And, I think this is one that we, as a society, as human beings, we tend to dwell on these situations the most. If we were expecting someone to do something that did not happen. And I think expectations get in the way of a lot. And I also think expectations is really big when it comes to not sweating the small stuff. Okay? So having these high expectations and going back to those expectations are not going as you had saw them going or how you had planned for them to go. And then you end up thinking about how the whole situation played out days after it had happened. It begins to really take over your life, because sometimes you may think that, oh, did I do something wrong? Am I not worthy? Am I not deserving of something? If I did do something wrong, what did I do wrong? And then you begin to play back the day over and over and over again, and trying to figure out different scenarios that it could have happened in. Whatever the case is, I don't know. I do this sometimes. So like I said, my podcasts are all from experience. So, I mean, I feel like I've really gotten better at it though. But like in the past, I would really kind of go over my days like, dang, what did I do wrong, for this person to not meet my expectations, because my expectations were through the roof. And then here I am weeks later, like, dang, I did something wrong. But at the end of the day, no, I didn't. So those expectations not being met really does get in the way of our overthinking. So really taking that time to don't sweat the small stuff, really taking that time to not let it take over your life. Going back to that quote, if it's not going to matter, years from now, months from now, don't let it matter for a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And kind of like I said earlier, we all need time to process. We all need time to kind of think about things that do upset us in some kind of way or do stress us out. And I think, like I said, 30 minutes to really evaluate, to really think about the situation. I would think that's enough time. I think that's enough time to really make a decision on where to go from there. Make that decision to move forward, and you choose to be happy in your life. So those are some things that, might get in the way of our thinking, might get in the way of our lives, that might stop us from doing things that we need to do. Those are just a few examples that I, had thought about, and I just wanted to share with you guys. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more examples. There could be work examples, business examples. It's always that one coworker at your job that get on your nerves. I know mine because she sits right next to me. But, just not letting them talk at 8 a.m. in the morning nonstop bother you for the rest of your day. There's plenty more examples, but those are just ones that I wanted to talk about. And I just wanted you guys to think about how some of those smaller things really start to take over your lives, because they truly start to take over. Whether you realize it or not, it does become a part of your life, and it does not become a part of your life in a positive way. You begin to give off these negative energies, and other people are definitely able to tell. So just think about how that negativity can impact your life. It could definitely cause stress, and it can cause health issues as well. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and so on and so forth. So these are just things to think about, not dwelling on things that can be forgotten about. Don't let these things drive you crazy when you could have put them in the past, moved forward, and been having this happy life. Okay? So some things that, could help, they definitely help for me. I use these on a daily basis every day. And again, goes back to my self-care. I think I mentioned self-care in all of my episodes. So practicing self-care, meditation, music, yoga, exercise, eating habits, whatever the case is. But self-care is really important in trying to move forward when you have something that is upsetting you. For me, I love meditation. So when I'm at work and my coworker is talking, as soon as I walk in the door, haven't even sat down yet, and she's asking me how my morning goes, that meditation comes in handy. I could just breathe in, breathe out, and really be able to move forward with my day. Keep positive energy around you. The people who are around you have a huge impact on how you live your life, how you go about your days. If you have positivity around you, your days will be positive. Even if you're upset, even if you're stressed, you have people that you can go to who are positive, who can change that around for you. All right, so know when you need to woo-saw or step away. This is, like I said, my favorite because it goes back to meditation. When you feel yourself getting hot, when you feel yourself getting angry, and you know that you are in a place of anger, and you may say something or do something that will impact your life and the other person, that you're upset with, or whatever the case is that you're upset with, know yourself well enough that you need to step away, you need to woo-saw, and then you need to come back at a later time when you know that you're calm. And practice meditation. Like I said, I love it. Music. Also addressing the problem. Sometimes when we have a situation and we're upset or we're stressed about it and we're letting it take over our lives, we don't really know what the problem is. So we don't really know what we're upset about or what we're stressing over. So it goes back to that 30-minute window, taking that 30 minutes to really figure out what the problem is in the first place. If it's with another person, like if it's with a friend or a relationship or a partner, maybe taking that time to converse and really speak with them and figure out what the problem is so you are able to move forward for yourself. But I think addressing the problem before you can move forward is really important. That's the only way you can put the small stuff behind you, is if you know the problem that you are addressing in the first place. All right. And then, another thing is when it comes to dating and relationships, just don't let no one's dusty ass child ruin your day. All right. Do not dwell on someone because it didn't go your way. Let that person go. Whether it is a male or a female, do not let this person negatively impact your days, your week, your month, because you're worried about them and what you did wrong. Just don't do that. And if that is ever the case, that's where that addressing the problem comes into play. So that's today's episode 10. Don't sweat the small stuff. really letting that negativity go, moving forward with your days, and practicing positive self-care habits so you are able to let the small stuff be bygones and let your future be perfect. All right. So thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. This episode was a little bit longer than some of my other ones, but I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode next week. Peace, y'all. Thank you all for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave comments, thoughts, opinions, feedback on what you guys got from this episode or what you thought about it. Our goal with Inspiring the Ideals is to promote self-love, self-esteem, and women empowerment. We are striving to dismantle jealousy, competition, and confrontation amongst young women. You can follow us on all of our social media sites, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes Podcast, and Google Play at Inspiring the Ideals Podcast. Our website is www.alegacybeyondlegendary.com, and you can email me at razia@alegacybeyondlegendary.com. If you are looking to be a candidate for co-hosting question and answers and or interviews, please let us know by sending an email. If you are a business owner looking for promotional outlets and or would like to feature on our show, please let us know by sending an email. Again, y'all, this is Inspiring the Ideals with Razia. Stay tuned. Peace, y'all.